Hello,
Hello.
everyone out there. Happy Sunday evening. And I'd first like to thank all of you, especially the Southern Youth, for organizing this event. And it's a big event. So well done to all of you. I've seen how motivated and engaged all of you are. And I'm really excited to be here today. Let us start with the question that I remember Yu Yan asked me, finding out the purpose of your life. So I'm going to share that with you. Let me just share my screen right now. Do you see it?
Hi.
So excited. Let's get into it. I hope everyone's got, this is a 1.5 hour session. So make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you've had your munchies. I hope that you've had your dinner. So let's get into it. So the first one is the objectives for today. So today I wanted to share my perspective of my observation of this question. So that's today's a sharing from me. And I'm really excited to hear the discussions and your Q&A. So as and when you have Q&A, just put it into the chat box and we will be picking it up later on. And I would love to hear some of these questions from you. So a little bit about me. I am a leadership performance coach. And what that means is I help others succeed at work mainly, but I do also do life coaching sometimes. And the vehicle I use to support others to succeed is Peta Diri. Peta Diri is a name coined up by me, and it's made out of 2 Bahasa words, Peta, which is map, and Diri is yourself. Us, or Berdiri, what we stand for. So Peta Diri is a tribute to all of us, including myself, who wants to find their path, who wants to really own their path, find their leadership style, find what works for them. And in a crowded time where, there's just so much information, it's really hard to hear ourselves. And so Peta Diri is built to support all of us actually, to find that path and own it through coaching and mentoring. That's a little bit about myself. As Hinisha said, I've done finance, I've done businesses, people, and engagement. Now is a time for me, I feel, to give back through coaching. And today, I really want to share back with you and to see, to hear from you as well. This is a safe environment for all of us. Do relax and enjoy the time, but know that, there's no judgment here. Whatever questions that you have out there, if you have it, so does a lot of other people. Feel safe to share your questions with us, and I will do my best to answer them. For me, I really want to spend this time sharing my time with you and sharing my thoughts with you, and hopefully, not that you followed what the sharing is, but my hope is that by sharing this, it sparks your own motivation, it sparks your own ideas, and that's what I hope that you will gain from it, the sparks that are yours, uniquely yours. The question, how do we find out the purpose of our lives? This is a big, big question. Our lives are so big, and when I first heard it, I wanted to share with you what my brain looked like when I heard that AIESEC wanted to say, Wendy, would you be able to share this on Sunday for us? And the look I had, the look in my head I had was this, like, whoa, finding the purpose of one's life is such a big topic. And my initial reaction was to shrink and say, I don't think I could do any justice for 45 minutes to share purpose of life and all that. I was like, wow, it's so big. Tell us the meaning of life. It's too big. And at first I shrunk and I said, oh, maybe I'm not the right person to do this. And then I thought about, hey, Wendy, I coach people. I help people find the purpose of their lives. Although it is through coaching sessions and through many, many sessions, I do that. It is a passion I have, Diri was built to help people own their path. So I wanted to do this not to give you the answer, because I don't think I will be able to give you the answer to that, but perhaps to share with you some of my perspective about this work and finding the purpose of my life and helping others find the purpose of their life is something that I've been working on all my life. So I have a lot of ideas and perspective to share with you. And so from this wide eye, I say, yes, I'm going to take up this challenge, and I hope that you'll enjoy this time. This is a picture that when people think about, I want to find the purpose of my life, a lot of people feel that it's almost like this picture where the purpose is like the sun, and all we have to do is go towards the sun. And our path is going to be like the trunks of these trees, straight towards the purpose. And that's it. And every one of us, like every tree that you see here, it goes directly to the purpose. So easy. All we need to do is find the purpose and we're done. And then we'll just grow like the tree, strong and direct towards the purpose. And a lot of us feel that that's almost what's expected of us. And that's almost what we expect of ourselves, that it's going to be direct like this. And, you know, I myself, if not talking about other people, I myself, and I look around the people around me, a lot of us, if you have a purpose that's so strong and you have one of those, you are like one of these straight trees that goes towards your purpose and you found it, good on you. That's really wonderful, because then it is very strong from when you're young. And I think that's a very, very small percentage of a lot of us, right? So you're one of the very clear, you know, you have the talent, you have what it is, go for it. That's great. So for you, I guess you won't have this question, finding the purpose of my life, because you would be clear about it already and you would have gone towards that. But for a lot of us, a lot of us, including myself, finding the purpose of our lives feels a little bit more like this, a little bit more maze-like. Like sometimes, I don't know whether you've gone into one of these mazes before, but you seem to have, okay, I know where I want to go. And the road doesn't take us so easily there. That's if we know what it is. And sometimes as we're walking, we don't even have that purpose so clear to go for it. Let's just say if you were the man in the little shack there going towards the tree, which is the purpose, you think it's going to be a straight road, just go there. But for a lot of us, it's not like that. We have to find a way. And sometimes we think we're going close. Oh, there's a barrier stuck. We got to reverse and do something else. But that's the pattern of many of our lives. And I don't know whether you relate to this. If you do, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, and especially in Facebook. Show us whether is your life the number one, the straight on, or is it more like this, curvy-wurvy? That's some of the context I wanted to bring. And many of us is in this picture. As a coach, I help people find their purpose, and I help people move towards their direction of their purpose. And I wanted to share with you, perhaps before just the formula, because there's no like exact formula, I wanted to share with you what the common caution I notice when we are looking for the purpose of our lives. All right, the common watch outs. I also want to share with you a few ideas that maybe could help you. These are just suggestions. And my hope is, remember the word save, share, and spark? My hope is that my sharing can spark something that's within you, that you say, okay, maybe something like that. Not exactly what Wendy says, but something like that that could work for me. And that's what we're after, yours. Okay? Are you ready for the first one? The first caution, okay? The first caution is our thoughts. Our thoughts is one of the most powerful asset that we have. We think so much. We learn by thinking. So our thoughts is very, very powerful. Why is Wendy saying caution our thoughts, watch our thoughts? And the reason is because it's such a powerful vehicle for us. We really have to balance the positive thoughts, the thoughts that will move us forward, and the thoughts that can set us backwards or even keep us stuck for a very, very long time. We think, and this is a very powerful asset that we have. Use it wisely and use it carefully. What are the watch out of the thoughts? So I've got good thoughts, you know, the positive thoughts are clear, it moves us forward. But I noticed there are common watch outs that you may catch yourself in it. And if you catch yourself thinking it, be really, really careful. All right. So what are they? Let's have a look. The first watch out, which is actually started to be very important, which is what? Comparing ourselves with others. Actually, comparing ourselves with others is very powerful, is very positive, is very useful for us. It gives us idea by watching left, watching right. It helps us. It helps us navigate. Oh, you know, Hinisha has a great idea. All right, maybe I could try that or something like that. So this is good, positive. But when it comes to comparing yourselves with others and you start feeling nervous about, oh no, I'm not, you know, look at this person A, they know their purpose already, they're going so fast. And then you know person B, they do this and they do that. When you start comparing like that, and then you start feeling yourself grow smaller and smaller and less confident, that's when you have to catch yourself. It's a watch out. Stop there, because that's when you're moving backwards and it's not helpful. Compare yourselves positively, but once it starts eating into you, you start feeling like negative feelings, like bad for yourself, and your confidence go down, watch out. That's a sign that you should move out of it. That's not a great thought. That's one thought. That's one watch out for you. Do you resonate with that? Do you resonate with when you look at Facebook and Instagram and all those pretty pictures and say, oh, my life, you know, oh no, I'm not catching up with my life. I should move faster. If you resonate with that, give me a thumbs up and remember, catch yourself. Oops, that's not healthy for me and I need to see it differently. Okay, so that's one watch out. The second watch out is comparing ourselves to not others, but comparing ourselves to time. When we were in school, we had like standard 1, standard 2, standard 3, form 1, form 2. We followed time. At a certain age, we are at a certain pace. And we think that once we are out of school, we should have the same pace as well. Like if I'm 30, I should have this. If I'm 40, I should have this. We think that we need to hit milestones with time. And that's a second watch out, because I hear a lot of my coaches telling me, I should be like this by now. I should know my purpose by now. I've lived my life 20 years, for example. And so again, we think life in like this picture, like steps, and you just go up, 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 up. And anytime that it doesn't go up, you feel like, oh, I don't know my purpose. And if I do know my purpose, I should just have step up, step up, step up. The moment I do that, I'm doing okay. If I'm not doing that, I'm not okay. And that's a watch out. All right. Because life, if I were to give you a picture, it's more like these ranges, you know, these mountain ranges. Sometimes we're up, we feel like we've got the purpose and we're moving up this mountain, for example. And when we reach up there, our purpose may move to another mountain, like, oh, now it's another one. Then sometimes we have to go down and up again, down and up again. And coming down, sometimes when we're feeling like we are we need to take a step back. It's not always bad, because sometimes we need to take a step back so that we can move forward. If we're in a peak of one mountain, sometimes it's a good idea that we've done with this mountain, we have to climb down of it before we can climb up again. Sometimes it works like that. So remember, life is not about just step up, step up, step up. Life is a lot about going up, sometimes to one direction. Sometimes we say, okay, wrong purpose, or maybe the purpose has done its purpose already, and there's so much more life in you and you want to change it. It's quite okay. And purposes change, and it doesn't really mean that you are going backwards. I hear a lot of sometimes some coaches and mentees saying that I'm so afraid that if I don't get my purpose right, I'm so afraid. So I dare not know which course I'm going to take. I do not dare to choose because I'm afraid I'll make a mistake on that choice. And therefore, they just don't make a decision and they're stuck. Sometimes it's okay because you make a choice and then you adjust. Make a choice and then adjust. All right? That's some watch outs. We've got 2 watch outs already. And the third watch out with I love, and I wanted to share with you as well. I love to share with people this watch out because I call it the challenge of the multi-talented. And what does the challenge of the multi-talented mean? So I speak to a lot of people and they tell me, because they're actually very talented in many, many things. They are artistic, they're good at sports, they're good at whatever they try, they seem to be pretty good at it. So they're like, oh no, if that's the case, what happens to me? Because I can't have everything, and therefore I don't know what my purpose is. Should I be a pianist? Should I do engineering? It's just so much because I'm good at everything. Their challenge is actually options. They have so many options to choose from, and it starts to get really confusing for them. And I'd say that sometimes when you look at options, I notice something. I notice that sometimes we need to differentiate between what we're good at, because sometimes we have a lot of good stuff, and sometimes not everything that we're good at is something that we're interested in. All right. Here I have a story. I have a story about a person I know, and she was a pianist. She's a very, very, very good pianist. And she made it, she made it to concert halls. She played the piano really well. And there was just no spark for her. She just felt like, I'm good at it, so I do it. People tell me, so I do it. And she wasn't feeling like fully fulfilled. And so one of the challenges, one day she said, I would take a break from the piano. And she took a break from piano for a while, about a month or 2. And she tried different things, and she realized that she didn't miss playing the piano at all. She was good at it, but she didn't miss it. And she wanted to do other things in her life. So she made a very, very tough decision at the time to close the piano and to start on something else that she was passionate about. Just because we're good at something doesn't mean that it is the purpose yet. Make sure that you like it. It's something that you're interested in, and it's something that makes you feel happy. Like you don't think that it's supposed to be good for me because I can earn a lot of money. That's good as well, but that's not all. We need to think about it's good, and I feel excited when I'm doing it. I feel good. My body's telling me this is a great thing. That's when we are That's when you're going towards your purpose. Our body can tell us sometimes whether we are going towards our purpose or away from it. Sometimes a lot of options can cause us to be confused and we go like, and that's a watch out. But that's a happy problem to have, okay? When you have a lot of options and you just have to choose one that you feel comfortable, it's a good problem. So don't feel too bad about it. And if you do have this watch out, let me know. If you do feel that you connect with this issue, like you have so many talents and you don't know where to go, give me a thumbs up on the Facebook, just so I know that this is some of the watch outs and you're identifying with me. I've shared with you 3 common watch outs that you should catch yourself that actually sets you stuck when you're looking for your purpose. Now, if all these are a challenge or all these are watch outs, what shall we do? How do we move confidently forward? I'd like to move us to the next part of my sharing, which is the idea part. This is the part where I hope you would get some ideas of, if you're considering the question, how do I find my purpose? I want to be confident and I want to work hard and I want to move confidently forward. What can I do about this? If you are asking that question, you are in the right place right now, because I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts and some of the ideas that have worked for myself and for many of my clients as well. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. The first one, I hope it's not a surprise to find the purpose that seems like outside of you, that is, you need to go towards something. The first secret to it is, drum rolls please. The first secret is that finding your purpose, it's not outside. Finding our purpose starts with you. It starts with me. We start with ourselves. That's the first thing. When you think about what's my purpose, if you start scanning outside only, it's hard. I find it easier that we look inside. We look at ourselves because we are unique. Sometimes the purposes that we are meant to do has not yet been created outside for you to look at. Maybe you are supposed to create that for the other people, right? Start with you. Start looking not at left, right, what is other people doing. Start looking at yourself and your strengths and your interest, and start working on yourself. And the first work that I would normally recommend would be the work of self-awareness. What is this work of self-awareness? Self-awareness is the understanding of yourself. It actually allows us to anchor into ourselves, and it helps us know ourselves better. And not only know ourselves better, it helps us know what works in terms of how we interact with the world out there. Start with self-awareness. Now, a lot of people then ask me, how do I build self-awareness? What do I have to do? Do I look at myself in the mirror? I know I look like this, and therefore I'm aware. Yes, that's one part of it. You see yourself externally, but a more important work is about seeing yourself inside. What is inside, and how do we do that is the question. I want to share with you a quote that I find very useful. This is not a quote for self-awareness, but interestingly, it is for physical fitness. And I've been doing Pilates. I love Pilates. I've been doing it for many years now. And one of the physical fitness quote that I like is this, and it's by Joseph Pilates. And it says, physical fitness can neither be achieved by wishful thinking nor outright purchase. This is Joseph Pilates. There's a picture of him just to give you an idea of who he is. This was something that I keep as a quote that motivates me, especially to exercise, because exercise and making sure ourselves we are fit is something that we cannot just sit down and think, oh, I hope that I will be growing muscles, or when I'm eating unhealthy food, I hope that I'm going to be like really at my peak of my health. It doesn't work that way. So that's one. And it's also something that is equal to all of us. It doesn't matter whether we have money, we have no money, it doesn't matter, because physical fitness is something that we have to work at it ourselves. We can't pay someone like, can I give you money so that I could get the muscles? No, the muscles are built because we need to work on us. This is the mantra or the motivation for myself. But why do I talk about this with self-awareness? I think self-awareness is the same. When you want to find out more about yourself, and when you want to find out more about who am I and what's my purpose, it's not something that you can just sit down and just wishful thinking. I think I want to just earn lots of money and be happy, and that's it. It's not like that. It's something that we have to work inwards, and it's also not something that we can just pay money and get it, right? We can share and talk a little bit about that a little bit more. But again, physical fitness and self-awareness is the same for this. We have to do the work. And the work is simple, but it's sometimes not easy. But when it's not easy, it's also okay. But we have to do the work. We have to do the search ourselves. So that's the equivalent I wanted to share with you about some of the ideas of how. So now, more concretely, how do we build self-awareness? I'd say the first one I would recommend, or I think is really valuable, is just finding out a little bit more about your values. This is a list of values. Now, you don't have to take a photo of this. You don't need to do that, because you can just Google and find a value sheet out there and just have a look at these values as a prompt for you, right? And these values are really important because it's talk about you and what it's valuable to you. And so that is a way to start building your awareness of what's valuable to you and what is less valuable. Because all the words in this sheet right now that you see is positive, and it's all very good. We all want all of it, actually. I love all of these words, but they are not of equal value to us. And so it's really important for us to select the ones that are more valuable and use them as our anchor, and to remind us when we're thinking about what's my purpose, where's my anchor first? Before what's the purpose, what's my anchor? So I'll give you an example of mine. So for example, for me, I've been thinking about all the different words for a very long time, since I was very young. And the word that pops up for me personally is freedom. I am very attracted to the concept and the word freedom, and it resonates really well with me. For example, freedom became a value that I hold strong. Whatever purpose or whatever I do, right, I make sure that I will ask myself, does it fit with this value of mine, this freedom value? I've got a few others like family, variety. I've got a few values that I hold strong. So it helps me navigate my choices as I move forward. For example, the freedom value for me tells me that I really like to do my own thing. You know, I like the freedom to do my own thing. I don't really like to be bound and to be told what to do. I'd really prefer a white piece of paper. Tell me what you want, give me a white piece of paper, and I do my own thing. That's important to me. And so that starts to make me understand myself better. And so with that, I can make my choices. I'll give you an example of a choice I made. For example, I moved from corporate world to building my own business. And one of the values that I used to shift from a very good space of a corporate world, which is also very nice, to doing my own thing and building Peta Diri as a business, is because I value freedom in my life, and I wanted to have something that I could shape for myself. And so that gives me the power and the confidence to move forward into this space. The values are used as powerhouses for you to move confidently forward. Another one I just share with you is variety. Variety is something that I value. I like a lot of things. I like different things, but not at the same time. In my career, I always say I bungee jump quite a bit. I don't mind taking risk in my career because I like the variety. I feel that I can learn quickly. I try different things in my career. That becomes a value that helps me move forward when I make my career choices. These are mine, and I really highly recommend that you think about yours as well. That's one solid way that you can do. Go and find a value sheet and work on it. Choose 5, choose 10, doesn't matter, but choose them and make them yours and think about them, okay? The other one that I find really useful is to find clues about it. If you see something that you like, if you see a job that you like, if you see a purpose that you like, cut it up or pin it somewhere, Pinterest it, do whatever you want to do, digitalize it, but keep it together and keep it visual so that you can see what draws you, what pulls you in, what makes you happy. And I've been doing this for a long time. In the past, I used to buy, maybe we don't buy so many magazines anymore, but in the past, I used to buy magazines, I cut them out and I paste them into a book, like a scrapbook. And you never know that even when the edges are yellowing, like it's very old, right? When I look back, I still connect with it because it links to something inside me. So that's the other thing, to find clues. Find clues that will work for you. And you just have to just put it together. You can have a board, anything. It's nice to have it visual though, so that you can see it and you can have a place that you can spark you. And every time you look at it, you will feel happier, promise you that. So that's another way to find it, which I find totally helpful to find our purpose. Just cut little things and stick it together. And you notice that no two person have the same collage of clues. So that's the second one. And then the third one, if you're too lazy to, cut purpose and all, cut clues out, another way that has worked for a lot of people, including myself, I do this every year, every 6 months as well, is to draw it out. Just doodle. And why do I suggest doodling? Or some of you may like to write a journal. So journal is popular, but drawing it out is helpful as well because it bypasses our cognitive brain, the logical brain. We can draw out things that our dreams and all that. It doesn't have to be absolutely logical, doesn't matter. But drawing it out helps draw you out. It helps draw who you are out. And when you can see who you are, that's valuable. And that's going to be your base for what I call the lighthouse. These are all materials that you use for your lighthouse. The lighthouse is the purpose. I give the analogy, lighthouse is like the light is like your purpose kind of thing. So to build that, these are some of the clues. Build your lighthouse. But we don't build our lighthouse based on outside only. We build our lighthouse based on your values, your strengths. What do you do? What are you good at? What do you want to be good at? That's your strengths. I always say your strengths are good, know them, but you can build more strengths as you go along. Your strength is not just like set, like when you are 10 years old, that's your strength. When you're 20, it's still, we will build our strengths. So your strengths can grow stronger. You will have a few that is naturally you, and there are some other strengths that you can build. What's interesting for you? This is the interest that's outside. You can start looking. This job looks interesting. This work looks interesting. This person is inspiring. These are your interests. And you can use this as your base, like bricks, to build your lighthouse. Okay? So these are some of the ideas for self-awareness, and I hope that you can try some of these out. Now I've got to move a little bit faster. The other one that I think is really fun is seeking others out. Ask people, what do you think? What do you see me doing? It's okay to ask your friends that, and that's also fun. Have your friends tell you and share with you what they see your potential is, and start collating that as part of data as well for yourself. The other option you can do is to hire a coach. I'm hired quite often to help people find their passion, their purpose, and accelerate themselves towards their direction. It doesn't have to be a coach. You can ask your friends, but have others help you see because others can help you see what you can miss. Have others share with you these. It's a fun thing. But what's important is you must make your own choices. After you get the data, you just don't give yourself to other people. Pata diri path, it's yours, right? And therefore, after you take all these data, make your own choices. Very important there. Before I go into the last part, I just want to share 3 things. Watch your thoughts. Start with you and your self-awareness, and seek out others to help you as you find your purpose. Now, I want to also share one more bonus, which is I call the triple T. The triple T is very important. So hang in there with me, all right? Triple T. A lot of people just think their purpose. Don't just think. Think. Then you talk to people about it, share with it, get some ideas. Then the last part is the last T is really important as well, which is try. You have to try things. Try something. If it doesn't work, doesn't matter. Try them in smaller pieces so that it's not such a big risk for you, right? But try. And then you know whether you really like it or you just thought it was nice. All right. So do the triple T. Remember, if you're thinking too much only, don't do that. Balance your think, talk, and share. Try. And do that often. Now, next. Welcome surprises. We need to build a capacity to enjoy life, and part of life is surprises. Welcome them. And we need to feel okay we need to build the muscle that keeps us okay in terms of ambiguous situation. Look at this card. This card is like life didn't give us the whole letter of what we need to do, everything. It gives us in little letters. They're ambiguous. We need to build the capacity to be okay. It's okay to not know everything. And the last one is unknown. There's a lot of unknown out there, and it's okay. Just build your capacity and build your capability. Keep yourself strong, and then welcome all these surprises, ambiguous situation, unknown, because life, I promise you, is full of them. And therefore, it's not the road. It's not just the purpose. I would also encourage us to reflect on how you travel on your road. How do you want to enjoy, or how do you want to go about it is important. Think about it, and it doesn't have to be too far away. Some of us have very, very far ones, that's great, but some of us don't. It's really fine. You need to be okay with it. The important thing is how you're traveling on your life. And so I leave you with this quote that I have stuck on my mirror every morning when I wake up. That's the mirror I go to. Yeah, and it says this: one's destination is not a place, but a new way of seeing your life. And that comes from taking bold step forwards, trying things, thinking about it, talking about it, and trying it. And just keep on going and be happy. It's okay. Life is good. I think I have almost run out of time. So my last slide is to thank you for your patience, and I hope this is useful to you. Please flick out your phones and link in with me. There I have a LinkedIn account. I also have a petterdiri.com account. Please join me in supporting each other, right? And helping each other petterdiri ourselves.